Welcome to the Egcobox software tutorial from Max Frank. In the following video, we'll explain the basics of the program for calculating Egcobox cantilever thermal brake connections. To start the program, you can use the desktop shortcut or open it from the Start menu. When the software has started, the options New Project and Open Project should appear. Select New Project. The opened window enables country selection and the country-specific calculation codes. Here you can select the location of the new project and the corresponding standards. There is also the option of supplying a project name and number. Let's call our new project simply Test, with project number 1. Templates for various balcony geometries are available. These range from cantilever balconies, corner balconies, loggias, and supported balconies to freely definable geometries. With the free balcony geometries, unlike the other templates, loads and supports are not predefined. For a dimensioning example, select a free cantilever balcony. In geometry, you can define the dimensions of the balcony. The input options are of course different depending on the balcony geometry. For an example of a cantilever balcony, we'll increase the balcony length to 5 meters and the projection depth to 1.5 meters. The cantilever length is the length of the balcony slab without the connection joint. In this case, leave the slab thickness at 16 centimeters. Further details of the Egcobox properties can be defined in Connection. In our example, we'll increase the upper concrete cover to 35 millimeters and the joint width to XL or 120 millimeters. Then confirm with OK. The newly created balcony is now shown in the center of the screen. To change the view, you can use the zoom function of the middle mouse button or use the cube. The cube enables fast switching between different views or rotating the balcony by holding the cube with the left mouse button and moving the mouse. Alternatively, for free rotation, hold the right mouse button. It is also possible to shift the balcony. For this, keep the Control key pressed and then press and hold the right mouse key to move the balcony. On the right of the view of the balcony is the detailed description of the created balcony, with further input options. The number of identical balconies can be inputted here, which is helpful in determining item numbers of the Egcobox for the whole project. The concrete qualities and the safety factors for the loadings can be amended. On the left of the screen is an overview of the current balconies in addition to the project designation. Information about input errors is shown in the Warnings field. The arrangement of the windows can be adjusted as required. Further details can be stated in the Editing toolbar under Project Settings. This gives the option to store your own company data that will later be shown in the printout. The company data would, however, only appear for the current project. To store your contact data permanently, we'll switch to the General settings. These can be found under the blue symbol below the software logo. Your contact data can be stored in the lower area. You can also specify units here or a default language. To return to the dimensioning, select the Project tab. To extend the project, the Editing toolbar includes fields for Add Position, Remove Position, and Duplicate Position. For static dimensioning of the balcony, we'll now follow the tabs in sequence up to Geometry. In the upper part, there is again an Editing toolbar for modifying the balcony geometry. Our example balcony is to have a larger projection in the center than at the edges. Therefore, select the command Add Node and place a further point in the front projection. This point is to lie in the middle of the length of the balcony and project 50 centimeters further. We can suitably shift this new node in the floor plan with the command Move Node or edit the absolute coordinates for the node in question in the table on the right. From the coordinates origin of the balcony, node 1, the center of the balcony is at 2.5 meters in the x direction and 0.5 meters in the y direction. After adjusting the geometry, switch to the tab Connections and Supports to define the position of the Egcobox. By selecting the appropriate commands in the editing toolbar, Egcobox or supports can be added. From the pre-selected cantilever balcony, the Egcobox is already predefined on the long side of the balcony. By clicking the Egcobox in the interactive plan, you can select the connection. Alternatively, this can be done in the detailed balcony description on the right of the screen. Here again, you can adjust the selected Egcobox or also amend the connection length. In this example, we'll not make any modifications. For dimensioning the balcony, the loads are still missing. These are dealt with in the next tab, Loads. You can apply as many loads as you like to the balcony, as single load, line load, distributed load, or handrail load. In this case, a handrail load is still missing from the balcony. The handrail load can be added by selecting the appropriate edges. On the right, in the detailed description, an added load can now be seen. When selecting the load, the parameter from the handrail can also be amended. A covering and a live load, however, need not be manually applied over the full balcony area. This can be done by modifying the loads in the detailed balcony description. In our case, we increase the covering to 1.5 kilonewtons per meter squared. The dead weight of the balcony itself also does not need to be determined. This is calculated from the previously defined balcony geometry. To complete the dimensioning, we now switch to the Calculation tab. With the appropriate command selection from the editing toolbar, you can calculate either the current balcony position or all of the positions created in the project. The Egcobox elements now appear in the detailed description on the right. After selecting the individual elements, they can also be altered here. The editing toolbar also includes an output of the balcony calculation as a PDF or DXF. This concludes the basics of the dimensioning software for static calculation of the Egcobox cantilever slab connection. We hope we have demonstrated the various capabilities of this program. If you have any questions, our technical support team is ready to help.